About 7 or 8 years ago, I started a dad's group on Nextdoor because I noticed that a lot of my friends were not friends. They were business associates or industry associates, and I sell real estate. So that meant that a large percentage of my friends were real estate agents. But I started to notice that the more successful you became as a real estate agent, the less likely you are to be friends with some people because out of jealousy. Also, a lot of people come in and out of the industry. So maybe you meet somebody who's a new agent and they have a lot of energy, but then they go get a job a year or two later because they don't make it. I've been selling real estate for 17 years now. And so I guess I started to get tired of the ebbs and flows of meeting new people who are excited about the industry, but then they're not going to make it, right? And I'm here, and I'm going to be here until, I'm 42 now, so maybe until I'm 80, I'm going to be selling real estate, right? So I started a dad's group because I wanted to diversify my friend group. And I want to have friends who or relationships with other men who weren't concerned about like my real estate passions or desires or trying to build a business or all the other stuff that you start to talk about when you're around entrepreneurs. Being around entrepreneurs or being around people who own their own business or who are starting their own business or who are aspiring to start their own business, it kind of sucks because they all talk about the same thing. They're all talking about growth. They're talking about a business book they've read. They're talking about some type of psychology book they read. They talk about a podcast. They talk about somebody they're hiring, somebody they're firing, their sales growth, their earnings, tax incentives, or tax strategies, or investment strategies. It just gets so boring. It gets so boring. So yeah, so I wanted like some normal people as like friends. When I meet somebody, even somebody who's at the top of their field, right? Like a successful doctor, a successful lawyer, a successful blue collar worker, plumber, electrician, somebody, when they're off, they're off. They're off. And I wanted that. I don't want to talk about real estate all the time. Sure, I'm good at it. Okay, yeah, I've been doing it for a while, and I like doing what I do, but I don't, there's so much more to me than selling real estate, right? And so I got tired of those people. And I used to have, back in the day, and I think it's still the case, on your Facebook friend list, you could only get like 5,000 friends. This was before they allowed followers. And so I had 5,000 Facebook friends, and they were predominantly like real estate agents and entrepreneurs. And I got tired of that stuff. So I deleted like 4,000 Facebook friends in a very public fashion, where on your birthday, I would go through my birthday list, which is something that Facebook does, shows you everyone whose birthday is on that day. And I would delete people if I thought that they weren't that valuable to me. Also, if I didn't think that we were ever going to really be friends, like if we were never going to really kick it. I already make money, so I don't. Sure, could I make more money from these people? Sure, but I already make money, and I've been making money for quite some time now. So I'm not really afraid of distancing myself from people because of money, right? So yeah, so I started this dad's group, and it's been going well. It's been going really well to just kind of meet like normal people who have normal ambitions, who they talk about their wives, they talk about their kids, they talk about maybe problems at work. Another problem with entrepreneurs once you get into a relationship with them is you notice that entrepreneurs they solve their own problems, right? So like if I have a problem at work, like maybe I'm not making enough money, I'll just go make more money. I'll figure out a way to make more money. Being around those type of people is kind of exhausting because you're kind of always like on edge, looking for ways to kind of contribute to the relationship, right? Whereas when you're just around some normal people, they make $150,000 a year, right? Maybe they don't make enough money. That's it. They get a they'll get a raise at the end of the year, a performance bonus or something like that. But that's it. There isn't more talk about like, what can I do to be better? What can I do to expand? What can I do to take this opportunity, a new opportunity? Yeah, opportunity this. There isn't that. And just being in my dad's group, being around these guys is just so refreshing, because I just get to relax. I just get to relax. Because a lot of my life is filled with stress, or I don't want to say it's stress. It's just it's achievement oriented, right? Like I have kids. I want to get a certain result out of my kids. I have a wife. I want to get a certain result out of my wife. I have a business. I want to get a certain result out of my business. Everything like this, it's like a disease that you're just trying to maximize everything, right? And my dad's group gives me like a break from that. And because I'm intending on my children also coming into business with me, I know that they are probably going to get this disease as well. So I want to model for them how to build like some space in their life, like away from this, right? Because it can consume you. And also, the thing that people don't tell you about when you start your own business, or you become an entrepreneur, or you just have unlimited opportunities. Unlimited, that's another word we use. Because it's unlimited, you're always consumed by it, right? Because there's so much of it, right? But if you're just an accountant, you're just an accountant, right? Not to say that you're just an accountant, but there's not more to it, right? Sure, there's opportunities to advance, but you have to work today, and the opportunities are like so far into the future. I hope this makes sense. But yeah, I have a dad's group. We meet. We have a breakfast session. We have every Friday at 7 a.m. So every Friday at 7 a.m. I live in Kingstown. This is the backdrop you're looking at. I live in Kingstown, and there's a Panera Bread in my neighborhood that we meet at, right? And it's every Friday. I love that about the group, because I never have to think about what I'm doing on Fridays. At least Friday mornings, I know my schedule is every Friday I'm going to this little shindig, right? And we don't have like structure to the group, so no one is controlling the conversation. We don't have like an agenda as well. So you just come and you just talk, you just chat, right? You get yourself a bagel, maybe a bagel sandwich, maybe some oatmeal, like some of the guys get, a fruit cup, or a piece of pound cake, and then you just chat. And it's just so like relaxing. Sure, some of the conversations become a little heated. We live right outside of DC, so a lot of the guys are personally impacted by some of the comings and goings of the government. So we have that. But, a lot of it's just like going through life with somebody else, like hearing about their challenges, also hearing about how boring their life is, and then you realize that your life is also boring. So then you realize that life is just about being bored, but who are you going to be bored with, right? That's another thing my dad's group, I think, solves for me, is that I'm choosing like who I'm going to be bored with, like who I'm going to go to dinner with, to like these different like events with when we have them. So yeah. I don't know why I told you all this. I want to get back into like these yap sessions where I kind of talk about like what I'm thinking about. I think it's relevant, but even more important to me is these platforms allow us to capture our thoughts. And I have kids, and my kids are going to be successful. So that means that I'm going to have grandkids. My grandkids are going to love these videos. They're going to love these videos. So that's it for me. Comment down below whatever thoughts you have, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.